click on target question and it's anonymous. Because I think like initially these people were hesitant to ask this because like, okay, they might be saying they're identifying which shape is there are their breasts by clicking on it. So it's anonymous. Nothing, it's not recording who answered what. So which of these do you think best represents an average woman's breasts? Yeah, this was, I think, from a YouTube tutorial on how to draw breasts. But as you see, many different shapes. And which is the correct shape? Well, I mean, seems like most of you clicked some of the top. No one clicked here. Yeah, this is probably the most unlikely scenario. This is like what you see in anime. So again, but why isn't it like this? I mean, sometimes you often see people draw when they draw breasts, they draw it like completely spherical. But is that the correct morphology? I mean, if yours are naturally that way, props to you. But again, it's like that's not typical, or I shouldn't say that's not typical. But it's like rare to see that sort of morphology. Why? Well, this is a typical shape of a breast. Like many different types of shapes. Some have more volume, some have less volume. But what you typically see is that they are kind of more teardrop shaped. They're not perfect spheres. And this is what we see with the mammary gland. Multiple things lead to the overall shape of a breast, and including the presence of the pectoral fat pad. So a lot, and depends on the woman. Sometimes like maybe half of the mass of a mammary gland is this white adipose tissue and this pectoral fat pad, or it can be as low as like a third of the mass of the breast. So some women, when they say a woman has dense breasts, is due to the composition of these lobules and the fat pad and also these ligaments that hold it as well. Now, another thing you might notice is that why do breasts typically have that kind of like, so I've heard it described as a pear shape or a teardrop shape, but why do they have that? Why aren't they perfectly spherical like that anime example like that? Well, it's due to these ligaments. So again, the white adipose and the fat pads by themselves don't give shape, but it's due to the arrangement of these ligaments. Like, and depending on where these ligaments and how many ligaments these, or what we call Cooper's ligaments is another term for it, that also determines the shape of the breast. So why isn't there a correct answer, and why did that tutorial have multiple breast shapes? Well, again, women, depending on their composition of the breast and these ligaments and the shape, these all contribute to the overall shape of a woman's breasts. Now, the pectoral fat pads, again, they're not going to give the overall shape because, again, fat doesn't really have a strong structure by itself. But the Cooper's ligaments, these are the ones that give shape. So back to muscular anatomy. This is a pectoral fat pad, right? So you have the pectoralis major. And hey, we have all these ligaments that are anchored to the pectoralis major. So there was they did a small study whether, hey, if a woman do a lot of push-ups and build up their pectoral muscles, will these Cooper's ligaments come along for the ride and help to kind of give like a natural breast lift and shape if you do a lot of push-ups? And I think it was inconclusive. I have to pull up that article again. But that was the whole theory behind that, is that yes, you do have this kind of like ligaments connecting and helping form the shape of overall mammary gland in combination with the pectoralis major and also with the pectoral fat pads that give volume. And the thing is that why do breasts typically shape or change shape as a woman ages? Well, pregnancy, we have that big gain in mass and due to the lobules, but we also have that involution and that decrease in mass as well. So these ligaments can stretch due to age, and heck, ligaments in general, like everything kind of like stretches with age, unfortunately. And weight loss and gain. So these are fat pads, and what we can see with weight loss and gain is that sometimes these fat pads can enlarge or shrink if a woman gains or loses a lot of weight. So this can also affect the shape of a woman's breast as well. So this is how it can prevent sagging. Well, again, with a proposed natural, but it's now kind of conclusive. But hey, in terms of like in the age of COVID, it doesn't hurt to get some exercise, and push-ups in general, if you can do them, they're pretty good exercise in